Section 11. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The group of people couldn't help but look at each other after hearing this, and they all asked in unison. I also heard what others said. I don't know whether it is true or false. Lu Yen waved her hand and signaled everyone to just listen. It is rumored that one day, a course student of Monster Academy fell in love with a female student of ordinary Wuhuan University. However, after the pursuit failed, he became angry and beat the female student seriously. When the dean of the Wuhuan University found out, he brought most of the instructors from the college to find the student from the Monster Academy and asked him to give an explanation. Unexpectedly, he was beaten to the point of death by an elder from the Monster Academy. Many instructors in the academy were left with only one breath left, and almost all of them were sent back lying down. How could Monster Academy do this? Everyone suddenly became angry when they heard this. They did not expect that the first academy of China would act like this. However, Lu Yen did not pay attention to their words, but continued to explain. Monster Academy's actions were later reported to the Qingchen Palace, and the Qingchen Palace immediately sent out kings to treat the injuries of many instructors at the Wuhuan University, and even dispatched golden torturers to the Monster Academy to capture the elder and student. Needless to say, the result was that although the elder had profound cultivation, he was no match for the golden punisher of the Qingchen Palace, and was seriously injured in a few rounds, and just when the golden punisher was about to capture the elder of Monster Academy and bring him back to the palace, he didn't expect that the vice president of Monster Academy would actually take action. It is said that this elder of Monster Academy is the descendant of the vice dean, and the vice dean of Monster Academy is extremely powerful. Not only did he violate the rules and seriously injure the golden torturer, but he even said cruel words to the people of Qingchen Palace not to let loose on the territory of Monster Academy. Monster Academy is so arrogant, how could the Palace of Punishment just let it go that day? When Lu Qingchen heard this, he couldn't help but ask. Of course I won't give up. Lu Yen nodded to it and continued. This move naturally angered the people in the Qingchen Palace. Just after the Golden Punisher returned to the palace with his seriously injured body, Qingtian Punisher, one of the 4 heavenly punishers in the Qingchen Palace, announced his departure. He took 6 golden torturers alone and went directly to Monster Academy. The vice president of the Monster Academy appeared naturally and attacked the people from the Heavenly Punishment Palace. However, within 3 rounds, he was taken away by the Qingtian Punisher, along with the elder and the student. Can the Monster Academy let go after the vice president is taken away? Yushan couldn't help but ask. Of course I won't give up. On that day, the dean of the Monster Academy took several old monsters to the Qingchen Palace to ask for someone. However, they were suppressed by a big hand and took 3 days to release. It didn't end until the dean of the Monster Academy personally went to the Ordinary Martial Arts University to apologize and compensated a lot of resources, but the vice president, the elder, and the students never came back. From now on, no one from all the forces in China dares to stop the people from Qingchen Palace from carrying out their mission. Recalling this rumor, Lu Yen was also a little emotional, but no one saw that Lu Yen had a slightly complicated look on her face after saying these words. Only the students were all excited after listening, and Hongbing and Zhang Ying couldn't help but think about it. It would be great if I could enter the Qingchen Palace in the future. Let's see how dare people in Kyoto are so arrogant. As long as you can enter Wuhuan University, there is still hope that you will be favored by Qingchen Palace. Lu Yen also smiled after hearing this and encouraged everyone. By the way, the group of people returned to the hotel like this, and the head teacher Da Huang was waiting for them to come back at the door. How's it going? How many people passed the assessment? Da Huang stared at Yushan and the others nervously and asked. Hongbing looked proud and smiled at the class teacher. Everyone passed. Real? Da Huang's expression suddenly became excited when he heard this. Lu Qingchen seriously suspected that if it weren't for his age, Lao Huang would jump up with excitement. Since the assessment ended early and all the students in the class passed, Lao Huang was so generous as to treat everyone to afternoon tea. By the way, Teacher Lu, tell us about tomorrow's assessment process. Also, when will the martial soul awakening ceremony begin? At the table, Zhang Wei, who looked a little rough, asked aloud. As soon as they heard about the awakening of the martial soul, everyone got excited, and Lu Qingchen was no exception. I was just going to tell you. Lu Yen took a sip of tea and said seriously. There will be an attribute sensing talent test tomorrow morning. This test is to initially detect the attributes of the martial arts in your body, such as metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Lu Qingchen probably understood, and it meant to see what attributes the martial spirit might have in advance. Then how to detect it? Su Man asked softly. Tomorrow there will be an attribute induction stone. You can detect your talent by putting your hands on it. Generally speaking, the stronger the light emitted by the attribute induction stone and the more uniform the color, the more powerful the spirit. What if it doesn't glow? Yushan asked with a puzzled look. If it doesn't glow, then I'm sorry. You don't need to participate in the martial soul awakening ceremony. If the attribute induction stone doesn't glow, it means you don't have a martial soul. Lu Yen waved her hands with a look of helplessness on her face. Chapter 12 Only Martial Arts. Ah. Everyone, I look at you, you look at me. Yes, because if you want to awaken your martial soul, you need to start the martial soul awakening ceremony. There are too many people and it takes too much time, so we can only use this method to eliminate some students first. The classmates nodded, thinking. But you don't have to worry too much. For students with martial souls, the induction stone will naturally glow, and after this round of testing, many teachers at the Martial Soul University will recruit students in advance. For example, those with strong attribute light. Many teachers at the Martial Soul University will compete for them, and even offer very generous conditions. Of course, if you are confident in yourself, you can also choose a school after the martial soul awakens. But, Lu Yen paused when she said this. However, some students rejected the invitation of the teachers. When they awakened their martial souls, their martial soul talents were not very good. In this case, it would be difficult to enter a better martial soul university. In that case, wouldn't it be completely based on luck? Everyone was in a complicated mood. Martial arts practice, originally luck is indispensable. From the awakening of martial souls, those who have awakened top martial souls will be carefully cultivated by major forces. Those who have awakened useless martial souls will not be paid attention to. There are also those who have not even awakened martial souls. Besides, some people have been born into good families, and have built a foundation with natural materials and treasures since childhood, improved their physical fitness, and have blood martial souls. These are all luck, and luck is also a part of strength. Lu Yen said seriously, don't underestimate luck. Many soul warriors who can cultivate to a high level cannot do without luck. Can you imagine a useless martial soul cultivating to the top of this world? I tell you, there is such a soul warrior in Qingchen Hall, but no one would have thought that what Lu Yen said would have such a great impact on these students who have not yet officially entered the martial arts world in the future. The students of Class 7 only felt as if a mysterious door was opened in front of them, and the scene inside the door made them yearn for it. At night, Lu Qingchen was comprehending the burning heaven sacred scripture, and Yushan was playing with the square object picked up from the scrap factory. Suddenly, the door was knocked open. Yushan went to open the door, and it was Su Muting outside. What are you doing here? Yushan asked with a gloomy face. I came to see Lu Qingchen. I want to say a few words to him. Su Muting lowered her head and said carefully. Yushan was about to refuse on behalf of Lu Qingchen, but Lu Qingchen stood up, shook his head at Yushan, and said. I'll go out for a while, it's okay. But she. It's okay, I'll be back soon. Lu Qingchen patted Yushan's shoulder. Yushan reluctantly returned to the bed. Outside the door, Lu Qingchen and Su Muting walked side by side. Neither of them spoke. After a moment of silence, Su Muting said to Lu Qingchen anxiously. Lu Qingchen, I'm sorry, Lu Qingchen waved his hand and interrupted, don't say sorry to me. It's okay to have your own ideas when you grow up. But, if it's an apology, then there's no need to say it. It's just that little thing. Lu Qingchen said, everyone has a choice. No matter what we do, we are still classmates. As for the previous incident, it's all in the past. Lu Qingchen then smiled and continued, it's getting late. Go back to your room and rest early. I'll go back first. Su Muting looked at Lu Qingchen's gradually leaving back, and when he said that last sentence to her, although he was smiling, she could feel a hint of indifference in that smile. What I want is the purest feeling. If a complete friendship or love has been split into two or has been tainted, it is better not to have it. If it continues, it will be a deformed relationship, and it will end in endless pain and struggle. It is better to end it as soon as possible. Lu Qingchen's thoughts were complicated, and he sighed, and suddenly thought of a sentence his sister Lu Qingxue said to him before she left. Xiaochen, some feelings need to be constantly tested, but often these feelings cannot stand the test. Only after experiencing many failures will you find the most suitable person for you to spend your life with, but the sad thing is that the one you love most often does not choose you, the one who loves you most is often not the one you love most, the one who accompanies you the longest is not the one you love most or the one who loves you most. Lu Qingchen recalled that when he was a child, he played with Yushan and Su Muting every day, went to school and went home together, and every time he and Yushan did something bad and got into trouble and were scolded, Su Muting on the side always spoke for them. My thoughts kept going back to Su Muting's words that day. After all, we are adults, and we should keep our distance. Thinking of Yan Xian's sneer and Yushan's unwillingness, walking out of the hotel, Lu Qingchen's eyes had turned red, and a fire in his heart was burning more and more. Walking to an open space, Lu Qingchen practiced his skills and used the fighting skills in the Burning Heaven sacred scripture for the first time. Lu Qingchen used the Burning Heaven sacred fist, which made a rumbling sound in this empty space, and he couldn't help muttering. From ancient times to the present, how many people can be called the master? Section 12. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Once you enter martial arts, you will fight for thousands of years. The harp and drums are beating, the gold and silver poles are singing, and the starry sky is stained with blood. Just ask the world, who is the hero? Phoenix divine fire, golden crow emperor flame, burn the world, and destroy all directions with flames. The love between children cannot be burned. The storm is rising, the genius appears, the martial arts is at its peak. Who is the hero? Blood splashed into the sky, and swords shot into the sky, only. War. 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 Lu Qingchen's hair was fluttering, his blood was surging, and the aura of the body-tempering realm was unreservedly displayed, and the air around him rumbled. It took him a long time to calm down, and his mind was like a mirror. The love between children lasts forever. In this life, we can only climb the martial arts path. We will never give up until we reach the top. What Lu Qingchen didn't know was that all of this was seen by Lu Yan, who was relaxing on the rooftop of the hotel. Lu Yan was just curious when she saw Lu Qingchen walking out of the hotel alone at first, but then she became more and more shocked and couldn't help but murmured, how can this kid know how to fight? Also, why haven't I heard the war song you recited? Let me ask the world, who is the hero? Lu Yan's eyes were blazing, as if she were looking at a piece of rare jade. After returning to the hotel and opening the door, Yushan saw that Lu Qingchen was back and asked quickly. She did what you said. Is everything okay? Don't believe women's lies. She said it in class last time. The more Yushan talked, the angrier he became. Lu Qingchen patted Yushan's shoulder and smiled helplessly. I didn't say anything. She and I are still classmates. Now we don't think about the love between our children. We only have martial arts in our hearts. After hearing Lu Qingchen's words, Yushan stared at Lu Qingchen, remained silent for a few seconds, and sighed. Indeed, they are just classmates. The two looked at each other and smiled, understanding in their hearts only martial arts. Chapter 13 Metallic Talent, Heavenly Grade. The night passed quickly. Early the next morning, so comfortable. Lu Qingchen just got up, stretched out and sighed, perhaps because he used his combat skills for the first time last night. Lu Qingchen's eyes were bright and he looked particularly energetic. After washing, Lu Qingchen woke up Yushan, who was sleeping soundly. After both of them washed up, they walked out of the room and headed to the hotel restaurant. there were not many people coming to have breakfast. Lu Qingchen was just about to find a seat with Yushan when he heard Lu Yan's voice. "This way." Lu Yan waved her hand, and Lu Qingchen and Yushan walked towards Lu Yan. Lu Yan was originally discussing yesterday's test with her class teacher Da Huang. When she saw Lu Qingchen coming, she quickly called them over. "We haven't seen each other for a day, and teacher Lu has become beautiful again." Lu Qingchen was in a rare good mood and teased. "Really?" Lu Yan smiled sweetly, "Then tell me how beautiful I am." Forehead. Lu Qingchen didn't expect Lu Yan to ask this question and raised his hands to express surrender. "Little guy, you are still young compared to your sister." Lu Yanjiao said with a smile. "Let's eat some together." Before he finished speaking, he saw Lu Qingchen picking up a bun in his left hand and soy milk in his right hand. Yushan is not like Lu Qingchen, what he was holding was fried dough sticks, just know how to eat. Lu Yan looked at the two of them speechlessly. Da Huang smiled beside him, "Eat more, eat more." While Lu Qingchen was eating steamed buns, other students in the class also came. It seemed that everyone had a good rest last night, only Su Muting's eyes were bloodshot, as if she had cried last night. Since everyone is here, let me first tell you about the content of today's assessment. As I briefly told everyone last time, the attribute talent test will be conducted in a while. As long as they have the talent, they will continue with the martial soul awakening ceremony. However, those without attribute talent will have to be eliminated. Lu Yan paused and then said. What I need to remind everyone here is that if you are detected to have attribute talents and Wuhan University recruits you in advance, try to agree, unless you are particularly confident or stubborn about yourself. Talents are generally divided into 4 types, heaven and earth, black and yellow. Yellow is the lowest, and heaven is the highest. Generally, if you have prefecture-level talent, 3 prestigious schools will start recruiting you. Speaking of this, Lu Yan smiled. To tell you the truth, I am the instructor of Tiandao Holy Academy. If you have awakened your earth attribute talents, you must consider Tiandao Holy Academy. Lu Yan stuck out her tongue and said playfully. All the students present were shocked. They did not expect that the gentle tutor beside them turned out to be from one of the 3 most prestigious universities. Hong Bingtian came forward shamelessly. Instructor Lu, I think all of our classmates should be top graders. Otherwise, just recruit us into the academy. After saying that, he showed a smile that he thought was pretty. Lu Yan was amused by Hong Bing, patted his head and joked. I don't want to be kicked out as soon as I get back. If you can beat the dean, I will take you in. When Yushan heard this, he came over and asked. How strong is the dean? Lu Qingchen glanced at Yushan in shock, and secretly thought to himself, this guy is not really so stubborn that he can go to the dean for discussion. Just don't catch me, I don't want to get beaten. Everyone seemed to see a black line on Lu Yan's head. Lu Yan stroked her forehead and said. Okay, you win. Da Huang next to him smiled so hard that his lips reached to his ears. There are still 10 minutes left to prepare for the test. Let's gather downstairs. Just as everyone was laughing, the sound of gathering came. Da Huang patted his clothes, stood up and said, I won't go, teacher Lu Yan will take these little guys. Finally, I wish you all a king's return. Got it. Everyone said in unison. Everyone walked to the gathering point of Qingchen No. 1 Middle School. The efficiency was still very fast. In just 3 minutes, the examiner came. There will be no division this time. After the attribute talent test, you can go back to the hotel to rest first. There will be a martial soul awakening ceremony in the afternoon. The examiner glanced at the many students and said in a deep voice, Now everyone follow me. Everyone came to an open field, and saw a stone pillar about 1 person high in the middle of the field, with a black stone on the top of the stone pillar. Next, whoever I point to will come up. Put your hand on the attribute sensing stone for 3 seconds, and then wait for a while. Number 00001, Wang Teng. Lu Qingchen had some impression of this person, not because this person has the talent of a great emperor, but the previous strength test was also the first test. Wang Teng, who looked handsome, walked out from the crowd and rolled up his sleeves. then he put his hand on the attribute sensing stone for 3 seconds as the examiner said. After a few seconds of silence, the attribute sensing stone emitted a faint yellow light. The examiner announced loudly. Earth attribute talent, yellow grade. Wang Ting's face flushed, and he jumped up excitedly, saying excitedly. Great, great, I have a martial spirit. My father will definitely be very happy when he knows that the students were also very excited when they saw that the first student had detected the talent. Number 00005, Zhou Xian. A thin but handsome boy walked out of the crowd. After the boy named Zhou Xian put his hand on it, he waited for a few seconds, and there was no light. Number 00005, no talent. Said the examiner. No, no, how could I not have talent, woo woo. When the examiner announced that he had no talent, the student named Zhou Xian turned pale and sobbed. Section 13. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When many students heard Zhou Xian's cry, they began to feel heavy-hearted. Number 00008, no talent. Number 00009, no talent. Number 00037, no talent, except for number 00001 student Wang Teng, none of the students up to number 00037 had attribute talents. The empty venue was full of students, but at this moment, the venue was silent. The students who had not yet started the test seemed a little uneasy, and each of them was in a heavy mood. Next, number 00038, Yushan, that the examiner saw a student who was about 2 meters tall and much stronger than himself walk out of the crowd. Qingchen clearly saw the examiner's mouth twitch twice. Hey, is this the physique that should be had at this age? The examiner shouted in his heart. Put your hand on the attribute sensing stone and wait for a few seconds. Maybe Yushan looked more honest. The examiner couldn't help but remind him. Yushan put his palm, the size of a palm leaf fan, on the attribute sensing stone. A few seconds later, a golden light appeared, instantly blinding everyone's 24 titanium alloy dog eyes. Golden talent, heavenly grade. The examiner's eyes widened and his voice trembled as he announced. In an instant, the crowd was boiling. After a while, a martial arts instructor swallowed his saliva and said with difficulty. My classmate, I now invite you to Xinbei Wuhuan University, and the treatment is negotiable. That this is when many instructors reacted and said scramblingly. Xinbei Wuhuan University is not good, come to our Xinnan Wuhuan University. You all go away, come to our Laishu Wuhuan University is the kingly way. That these Wuhuan University instructors are going crazy, heavenly grade. I don't know how many people can produce one. At this time, Lu Yen smiled at the many instructors in front of her. Excuse me, instructors, this person is my student of Tiandao Xingyuan. Chapter 14 tentative. Fire attribute heavenly grade. As soon as the voice fell, the test site instantly became quiet. The students started talking. So he is a student from the 3 famous schools. No wonder he has a talent of heaven. That's not surprising, that's not surprising. It's because they recruited him in advance. The Heavenly Tao Academy is so quick. I'm so envious. He got into the 3 famous schools so soon. It would be great if we were talents of heaven. Earthly rank is also okay. At this time, a teacher from Wuhuan University jumped out with a bitter smile. Teacher Lu, you are too quick at the Heavenly Tao Academy. Yes, yes, that's a heavenly rank. We haven't even seen a earthly rank student in our academy. We are the same, we are the same. The other teachers also spoke up. Lu Yen gathered her hair and smiled. Who made me the martial arts instructor in this student's class? I can only blame the assignment from above. Lu Yen spread her hands and said helplessly. Versailles, she is Versailles, brothers. A teacher shouted. Quiet. Continue the test. After being shocked for a few minutes, the examiner came to his senses. Next, number 00041, Zhang San, a young man who looked very energetic walked out of the crowd. He walked to the stone pillar and put his hand on the attribute sensing stone. A few seconds later, the sensing stone emitted a soft blue light. Water attribute talent, Xianpin. The examiner announced loudly. The student named Zhang San couldn't help shaking when he heard the examiner's announcement. I actually have Xianpin talent. Mom and Dad, your son didn't let you down. Zhang San couldn't control his emotions for a while and burst into tears. My classmate, this is a good thing, you should be happy, don't cry, don't cry. A tutor comforted him. Zhang San wiped his tears with his hands. Teacher Wang, I'm fine, I'm just too happy. I really can't imagine how much pressure parents put on their children nowadays, and they actually forced a good child into this state. Teacher Wang thought to himself and sighed secretly. Child, are you willing to come to our Southeast Wuhan University? I will try my best to get you the best treatment I can get from the higher authorities. Teacher Wang, I am willing to join Southeast Wuhan University. The student named Zhang San choked up. Good boy, good boy. Teacher Wang said excitedly. Old Wang, you are too unkind. We haven't even spoken yet, and you have recruited a genius with a mysterious talent into the academy. A mature and charming female teacher with long light yellow curly hair said half-jokingly. I won't compete with you next time. Teacher Wang is a loyal man, scratching his head. Next, number 00045. The examiner shouted without looking at the situation here. Student number 00045 put his hand on it, but the induction stone did not emit any light. Number 00045, no talent. The examiner announced. The student walked out of the crowd dejectedly. Number 00049, no talent. From the student named Zhang San to number 00087 in front of Lu Qingchen, none of the students present could make the attribute sensing stone glow. Next, number 00088, Lu Qingchen. Put your hand on the attribute sensing stone and stay for 3 seconds. Because the strength test machine was broken by this student, and the strength of 5,000 kilograms can be said to be the highest in the previous assessments. So the examiner was very impressed with this student. Lu Qingchen walked forward and put his hand on the attribute sensing stone, and he didn't feel anything. A few seconds later, the attribute sensing stone emitted a dim red light. Look, it's bright. A classmate exclaimed. As soon as the voice fell, the attribute sensing stone shone brightly. The red light reflected on everyone's face, slowly turned into golden yellow, and then turned into a white jade-like light. A few seconds later, the attribute sensing stone was fixed in the red light. This was the first time the examiner experienced this situation, and his mind was blank for a while. The test result is tentatively determined to be fire attribute talent, heavenly grade. After a while, the examiner pondered and said this sentence. This sentence was like a stone hitting the calm water surface, instantly stirring up thousands of waves. Heavenly grade again. Why? I remember that this Lu Qingchen strength test was a full 5,000 kilograms. Is this a monster? What's the matter with the golden and jade-colored light? Does anyone know? Section 14. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why are there so many monsters? I don't have any talent. Woohoo, don't comfort me. The students were all excited and talked loudly. Some students without attribute talents couldn't accept such a result for a while. It was hard to accept that they didn't have any talent, and suddenly a talent of heaven came. It completely defeated the psychological defense of these students who didn't awaken their talents. Lu Yen was already smiling when she saw the dazzling red light, but she didn't expect it to turn into golden and jade light, even though she was a knowledgeable instructor of Tiandao Saint Academy. She couldn't see anything for a while. The many instructors present were already excited when they saw the dazzling red light, but they didn't expect it to turn into golden and jade light. This change made many instructors of Wuhan University dumbfounded. For a while, you looked at me, I looked at you, and looked at each other. This classmate, no, this little brother, are you willing to come to my East China Wuhan University? I promise to get you the greatest resources I can get myself. After a few seconds of silence, a middle-aged tutor with a thin figure but bright eyes said to Lu Qingchen excitedly. At this time, many other tutors also reacted and hurried forward. This little brother, don't listen to him. come to our North China Wuhuan University, the conditions are up to you. Don't listen to them, as long as you come to our university, your girlfriend will be assigned. Choose us, you will be the vice president directly. Lu Qingchen was so annoyed by the noise. Is the enrollment so inward now? Lu Qingchen grabbed his hair with both hands and sighed, but he still waved to many tutors politely. Thank you very much for your attention, but I already have a school to recruit, I'm really sorry. Which school is so shameless and actually acted so quickly? Many teachers said loudly. Excuse me everyone, Lu Qingchen is already a student of my Tiandao Holy Academy. Everyone present slowly turned their heads and looked behind them. Lu Yen was standing at the back with her arms folded across her chest, then she smiled triumphantly at the many teachers. Chapter 15 The Secret of Soul Awakening. Lu Yen smiled triumphantly at the many teachers. All the teachers at the Seoul University were stunned for a moment, and then went crazy. How can you do this? Why did you recruit all the geniuses into the academy in advance? Yes, that's right. Did you test their talents in advance? Faced with these crazy instructors, Lu Yen shook her head helplessly. Alas, there is no way. I only recruited 2 students in advance. Who would have thought that these 2 students would be so motivated? She smiled brightly. Besides, there are regulations above that students' talents cannot be monitored in advance. Is there any Wuhuan University that dares to violate the rules we have made together? What do you think? The faces of these instructors seemed as pale as if they had just eaten a dead spider. Two geniuses of heavenly rank. They were recruited by the Heavenly Dao Holy Academy. Damn, students in Kyoto have also awakened heavenly rank talents. Just when many Wuhuan University instructors were filled with anger, they heard a voice from outside. Everyone rushed outside, only Lu Yen stayed where she was, showing a charming smile to Lu Qingchen. Little guy, you are really good. You gave me a big surprise. Lu Qingchen scratched his head, with a sunny face. I will give me more surprises in the future. Don't scare me. Really? If you can give me another surprise, I will. See Lu Qingchen smiling. What is it, Miss Lu Yen? See Lu Yen looking at him with a smile. If you can give me a bigger surprise than awakening the heavenly talent, I will agree to one of your conditions. Seeing a strange light flashing in Lu Qingchen's eyes, his eyes involuntarily looked at the place he shouldn't look at, and asked weakly. Any conditions are okay, sister. At this time, many people's eyes looked over here, and Yushan was no exception. Brother Chen is still awesome. He even flirted with the tutor. I will have to ask Brother Chen to teach me more in the future, Yushan said secretly in his heart. Lu Yen naturally noticed Lu Qingchen's eyes. She didn't expect Lu Qingchen to be so bold. A pair of beautiful big eyes stared at Lu Qingchen fiercely, gritting her teeth and said. As long as you can give me a bigger surprise, any conditions are fine. Lu Yan's beautiful eyes stared at Lu Qingchen fiercely. Seeing the smile on Lu Qingchen's face, she couldn't help but think of that night on the rooftop of the hotel. This student, who was only in the 3rd year of high school, had flying hair and holy fists, and asked the world, who is the hero? I only remember how clear Lu Qingchen's eyes were that night, and his eyes were full of persistence in martial arts. Now looking at Lu Qingchen's handsome face and charming smile, my face couldn't help but blush. Me, what am I thinking about? Lu Yen subconsciously touched her pretty face. Teacher Lu Yen, why is your face red? Yushan was making up the knife at the side at this time. Who's blushing? I'm so happy that I'm about to be promoted to senior mentor. Lu Yen reacted quickly and immediately argued. Then he said with a smile. After all, I have accepted 2 great geniuses, you and your brother Chen, for the academy. The academy will definitely reward me. Seeing that the last hit was unsuccessful, Yushan scratched his head with a smile. This fool should study for a few more years. Lu Qingchen muttered in his heart. The instructors from Wuhuan University who had just hurried out were slowly coming back, but Lu Qingchen didn't seem to look good when he saw them. It's really strange. 2 students here who are testing their natural talents were accepted by the instructors of Tiandao Holy Academy in advance. Over there, a talented student from Kyoto was also accepted into Monster Academy in advance. One of the instructors said to himself. How are we supposed to do business when we go back? I haven't even recruited a single student with Huan-level talent. Our famous school's starting to get involved now. Lu Qingchen couldn't help but grinned when he heard the complaints from these Wuhan University instructors. I really want to know if teacher Lu would be like this if he didn't recruit students. Lu Qingchen wanted to laugh when he thought of Lu Yan's complaining look. The test continued, and the examiner just said that those without talent could leave. Lu Qingchen, Yushan and Lu Yan sat together, the three of them staring at each other. Let me take this time to tell you about the martial soul awakening ceremony and some things that will happen when the martial soul awakens. The three of them stared for a while before Lu Yan suddenly said. Lu Qingchen immediately became interested when he heard what Lu Yan had to say about Wuhuan. The two quickly put their heads together. Lu Yan patted the two of them on the head. Needless to say, you must know what the martial soul awakening ceremony means. It is to help you awaken your martial soul. As for some things that will happen when the martial soul awakens, that is what I want to focus on telling you now. Speaking of this, Lu Yan looked serious. After the martial soul awakening ceremony is started, it will stimulate the awakening of the martial soul hidden in your body. The martial souls are all kinds of strange, such as flowers, plants, trees, birds and animals. When awakening martial souls, some powerful martial souls will have accompanying creatures. For example, when awakening some martial souls, they will be accompanied by divine weapons, and some martial spirits will have accompanying martial arts when awakening. Although the martial spirit is your own, the accompanying divine weapons, techniques, or some heavenly and earthly treasures can be used by others after death. Even though he was mentally prepared, Yushan couldn't help but sigh. So no matter whether you have awakened a powerful martial spirit or a companion magic weapon, you must not take it out. Just know it yourself, unless you are strong yourself or have powerful warriors or strength to protect you. Lu Yan looked at the two of them deeply. Section 15. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although you are students of Tiandao Saint Academy, there are still risks outside. It is common to kill people and rob treasures in the martial arts world. Don't trust others easily, otherwise you will be eaten to the bone. The attribute talent test has ended. Those who have awakened attribute talents, please come with me later to prepare for the martial soul awakening ceremony. Please ask the many instructors of the Martial Soul University to prepare. Just as Lu Qingchen and the others were listening very seriously, the examiner's voice came. I'm going to prepare for the martial soul awakening ceremony for the students. You just follow the examiner later. Lu Yan's face suddenly became serious. Remember what I said, no matter what happened during the martial soul awakening ceremony, bury it in your heart. If you have any questions, wait until the awakening ceremony is over and come back to the hotel to ask me. After that, she left in a hurry. Lu Qingchen and Yushan looked at each other and nodded to each other. Students who have awakened attribute talents now, follow me. The two stood up and followed the examiner with several other students who had awakened their talents and strode out. I don't know if I will awaken a powerful martial soul. One of them is a fire-type martial soul, which is acceptable. What about the other one? Flowers, grass, trees, wood. Or insects, fish, birds and beasts. Don't awaken a dog-type martial soul, or a pig-type martial soul. I don't want to become such a cute animal. I'm really looking forward to it. Chapter 16 Top Martial Soul. Golden-backed longhorn beetle. The examiner brought the students to a very spacious room, which seemed to be thousands of square meters. There were 18 futons in the room, and each futon was about 10 meters apart. Lu Qingchen and Yushan looked around and saw that the people from the other 3 districts had also come. When the people from District D came in, they found that everyone else was there except Su Xian and Zhang Wei. Hong Bing shook his head at him, and Lu Qingchen immediately understood what he meant. Hey, what teacher Lu Yan said was right. Luck is too important. Lu Qingchen couldn't help shaking his head. The martial soul is about to be awakened. Do you know how to awaken it? A student asked. I don't know. It's about to start. The examiner will tell me. I don't know what martial soul I will awaken. I'm so stressed. It would be great if I could awaken a powerful attacking martial soul. I would definitely become a strong man. Because the martial soul awakening ceremony is about to start, the students are inevitably excited. At this time, many instructors from the Wuhuan University came in, each holding a black but irregularly shaped stone in their hands. Lu Yen was also among them. They walked to each futon, took the stone in their hands, and sat cross-legged, because there are only so many futons. Only a dozen students can be awakened at a time. Since there are not many students, about 50 or so they were divided into 3 groups. The martial soul awakening ceremony begins now. The first batch of students please sit on the futon in order. 18 students walked out of the crowd, including Hongbing from Class 7, Su Muting, and the 2 sisters Zhang Ying and Su Man. Interestingly, Lu Yen was next to the futon where Su Muting was sitting. Quiet. The examiner said seriously. You can start, Lu Yen said to Su Muting, sit cross-legged, close your eyes later, and use your heart to feel the hidden power in your body. No matter what happens, don't make a sound. Su Muting hummed softly. The instructors of Wuhuan University began to emit light of various colors. That should be soul power. Lu Qingchen thought. All the instructors injected the emitted light into the black irregular stone in their hands. It lasted for about a minute, and the stone emitted golden light and slowly rose. Then it floated above the students' heads, and a layer of golden light was released from the stone. A light golden light shield was formed, covering the students sitting cross-legged on the futon. The students who seemed a little excited became quiet as soon as they were covered by the light golden light. One by one, their eyes were closed, as if they were feeling something. It lasted for about a quarter of an hour, and the light golden light shield covering the 18 students disappeared. The irregular stone turned black again and flew back into the hands of the instructors. A blurry ball of light appeared above the heads of the students sitting on the futons. Buzz. As time passed, some balls of light began to break. After the balls of light broke, everyone saw that there were lights of various colors flashing above their heads. The students who had not yet awakened their martial spirits looked over curiously, and saw that there were all kinds of creatures in the light: flowers, trees, birds, beasts, and even a circle of rings, and martial spirits like weapons. Lu Qingchen only saw a yellowish-brown light flashing above Hongbing's head. Upon closer inspection, there was a giant bear roaring in the light. There was also a dark blue light flashing above Su Muting's head. Upon closer inspection, there was a bird soul beast calling. The light above the heads of the students gradually dimmed, but the martial spirits on their heads began to emit light, and bright grooves appeared on these martial spirits. This is the soul groove that instructor Lu Yen said. Lu Qingchen thought. The number of soul slots on these martial spirits varies, with the most being 4 and the least being only 1. Lu Qingchen discovered that Su Muting had 4 soul slots on her martial spirit head, while Hongbing had 3. After about a few minutes, these martial souls turned into a ray of light and entered the students' bodies. At this time, the students on the futon opened their eyes. Since they had just awakened their martial souls, everyone's eyes also changed a little. Some students' pupils turned into a dot, and some students' eyes emitted the same light as their own attributes. At this time, everyone stared at the examiner. The examiner said in a deep voice, "After the martial soul is awakened, you can clearly feel its existence in your mind. I believe you all know how to use the martial soul. The realm after you awaken your martial soul is called the awakening realm. This realm is mainly about perceiving the martial soul and cultivating soul power to irrigate the martial soul. When the soul power of the martial soul is full, you can automatically advance to the next realm. Of course, the higher the strength of the martial soul, the more soul power is required. You can only use some of the abilities of the martial soul temporarily. For example, this student who awakened the Hashi pig, after releasing the martial soul, his skin will become thicker and his ability to resist blows will be greatly enhanced." Everyone focused their attention on the student who awakened the Hashi pig martial soul. The student lowered his head in shame. "Don't be embarrassed. Awakening your martial soul means you are already a soul warrior, far surpassing many people. Moreover, there are many kinds of martial souls, and your beast-like martial soul is relatively normal." The instructor said to the student with dark skin. The student immediately raised his head proudly. "Also, after awakening your martial soul, there will be a place on your body where a martial soul mark will appear. called a martial soul mark. The martial soul is usually in the space that comes with the martial soul mark. The students who can reach the stage of martial soul awakening are still very smart. Everyone understood what the examiner said as soon as he finished speaking. Okay, that's all. Now please ask the second batch of students to sit on the futon. That I saw another 18 students coming out. Qingchen saw Yushan among them and blinked at Yushan, then he found two familiar people among them. One was the monitor of their class, Yan Zian, and the other was the Kyoto student who had a conflict before, Yao Qingwu. Just like before, the instructors injected soul power into the dark stone. The stone emitted a golden light and slowly rose, then it floated above the students' heads, and a layer of golden light was released from the stone. A light golden light shield was formed, covering the student sitting cross-legged on the futon. A quarter of an hour later, the light golden light shield covering the 18 students disappeared. The light ball on Yan Zian's head was the first to break. Qingchen took a closer look and found that there seemed to be a lizard in the fire. Moo! A heavy and deep voice of a cow roared. At this time, the light ball on Yushan's head also broke, and Qingchen clearly saw a dazzling golden light. When the light dispersed, it was discovered that the back of the cow was golden, and the rest was pitch black. A pair of golden spiral horns on the head seemed to poke the sky. There were 7 bright soul slots flashing on the cow. Top talent. Qingchen's first psychological reaction, everyone only saw the examiner's body shaking, and he murmured in a trembling voice. This is, the top beast martial spirit, the golden-backed longhorn beetle. Chapter 17 Qingchen's martial spirit. This is, the top beast martial spirit, the golden-backed longhorn beetle. That's right, this is Yushan's martial spirit. Section 17. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The golden dragon beard is fluttering, and there is a dragon ball under its jaw. A pair of dragon eyes that are also golden in color shine with golden light, extremely majestic. It exudes an aura that is proud of the past and present. A pair of huge dragon wings behind it even covered the sky and the sun. Qingchen even discovered that there were 9 thick claws under the body of this golden dragon. 9-clawed true dragon, this is the true dragon of the dragon clan. Only a true dragon can give birth to 9 dragon claws. The 9 powerful dragon claws under the body represent the purest bloodline of the dragon clan, which represents the dragon emperor's qualifications. Ding! It has been detected that the host has broken through to the awakening realm, and the extreme realm rewards have been distributed. Byte. It is detected that the host awakens the supreme martial spirit, and the third martial spirit is rewarded with the Jade God Lotus. When Qingchen's thoughts were confused, the long-lost system appeared again. Create the Jade God Lotus. The third martial spirit rewarded by the system. You have reached the sky in 1 step, but what is the supreme martial spirit? Qingchen thought. Everyone saw 2 light groups appearing on Qingchen's head. After the light group dispersed, an extremely dazzling divine bird spread its wings. The 3-legged golden crow comes to the world for the first time. Another ball of light shattered, and many students and teachers present only saw a huge lotus floating above Qingchen's head. The lotus flower is all white, as if it were cast from white jade. There are 12 green lotus leaves as a backdrop, and the flower has 24 petals. At the heart of the lotus, 5 jade-like lotus seeds are formed. There are 7 bright soul grooves shining on the entire lotus flower. But what is shocking is that this extremely dazzling divine bird has only 1 extremely bright soul tank. What is going on? What happened? 2 martial spirits. Who am I and where am I? Everyone's minds were filled with questions. At this time, the martial arts of other students had also successfully awakened, and they saw everyone staring at one place. I couldn't help but turn around and look. It didn't matter if he turned around, he was just as shocked as everyone else. Damn it, what the hell, this is still a human being, why are there 2 martial spirits? I saw a lotus mark between Qingchen's eyebrows. The lotus mark flickered and turned into a sun mark. The 2 marks complement each other. A few seconds later, Qingchen thought, and 2 martial spirits turned into a stream of light and penetrated into his eyebrows. When he opened his eyes, he realized that everyone present was staring at him. Lu Yen in front of her had even more glaring eyes and wiped the corners of her mouth with her hand. Being stared at by so many people, Qingchen instantly felt his scalp numb and said sarcastically, Although I'm handsome, it's very stressful for you guys to stare at me like this. Brother Chen, have you awakened two martial arts spirits? Yushan came over and asked excitedly. Lu Qingchen nodded. Probably so. Then she looked at Lu Yen in front of her. Lu Yen also looked excited and said with a smile. It is indeed twin martial arts. Little brother, you really gave my sister a surprise. Lu Qingchen scratched his head and showed a pure smile to Lu Yen. The martial soul awakening ceremony has ended, everyone can leave. Also, this test and the martial soul awakening will become everyone's college entrance examination scores. After the examiner said this, he hurried away, probably to report to his superiors. The classmates and instructors in the room also left one after another. Yan Zian did not stay with the students in class 7, but followed Yao Qinggu in Kyoto. The two people's faces were gloomy, and Yan Zian's eyes were full of jealousy. After everyone left, only the people from class 7 and Lu Yen were still in the classroom. Hong Bing said excitedly, "Great, everyone has awakened their martial arts spirits. I have to go back and tell my family the good news. Then you have to let us have a banquet for entering higher education." Yushan smiled. "No problem, you can eat whatever you want then. My family will be very happy if they know that I have been admitted to Wuhan University." Hong Bing said excitedly. It's a pity that Su Xian and Zhang Wei did not awaken their martial spirits. Su Man said softly. Everyone was silent. Actually, it's not entirely a bad thing that the two of them haven't awakened their martial arts spirits. It's also good to get into a prestigious liberal arts school. Lu Yen comforted everyone and continued, "And once you awaken your martial spirit, it means you have embarked on the martial arts path, which is full of dangers. It would not be a bad thing to go to a prestigious liberal arts school without awakening the martial soul." Hearing what instructor Lu Yen said, the other students also thought it made sense, so they all nodded. "Then let's go back to the hotel first. I'm still anxious to tell my family the good news." Hong Bing grinned. "Okay, you go back to the hotel first, and we will go back to school together tomorrow. Lu Qingchen and Yushan will stay." After Hong Bing, Su Muting, Zhang Ying and Su Man left, Lu Yen smiled at Lu Qingchen and said, "Twin martial spirits, not bad, really gave me a big surprise, but why does your other martial soul only have one soul slot?" Lu Qingchen scratched his head and said, "I don't know either." In fact, Lu Qingchen really didn't know that in addition to the 7 soul slots of the Jade God Lotus, the Sun Golden Crow martial spirit and the Golden Emperor Dragon martial soul only had one soul slot. It's just that this soul tank is twice as large as the soul tank of the Jade God Lotus. As for why everyone thinks he only has 2 martial arts souls, nonsense, I hid one. These days, who wouldn't pretend to be a pig and eat the tiger? Besides, there was already a Jade Lotus of Fortune with 7 soul slots. Lu Qingchen knew that he and Yushan would definitely enjoy the best resources of the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy. Lu Yen saw that what Lu Qingchen said did not sound like a lie, so she did not ask any more questions. "Then you go back to the hotel first. I have already told the higher-ups about the early recruitment. Now I need to report your situation." Lu Yen paused and continued, "As for you, go back and comprehend the martial spirits. The academy will definitely give you very generous treatment." Lu Qingchen and Yushan smiled with satisfaction. On the way back to the hotel, the two were very excited because of the awakening of the martial spirits. Soon, they were about to reach the door of the hotel. Warning! Warning! There is danger ahead. The system suddenly made a sound. Lu Qingchen was startled and slowed down a little. He patted Yushan and whispered, "There is danger ahead, there should be an ambush. After I count 1, 2, 3, we will immediately run to where teacher Lu Yen is. We must run as hard as we can. Do you understand?" Yushan nodded imperceptibly. Just about 100 meters away from the hotel entrance, Lu Qingchen whispered. 1. The two did not slow down their pace, so that the enemy would not easily notice. 2. 3. Run! Chapter 19 Life and Death Moment. Lu Qingchen roared, and Yushan turned around immediately after hearing it. The two ran madly in the direction where Lu Yen was before. the 4 soul warriors who were ambushed at the hotel entrance obviously did not expect that Lu Qingchen and Yushan would suddenly run back when they were walking well. The 4 of them were slightly stunned for a moment, and in this moment of slight daze, Lu Qingchen and Yushan had already rushed out a long way with all their strength. At this moment, Yushan and Lu Qingchen were emitting light, and their speed was much faster than usual. As 2 people who have awakened top-level martial souls, they have a part of the power of martial souls as soon as they awaken their martial souls. At this moment, the 4 soul warriors who were ambushing at the entrance of the hotel also reacted and quickly got out from various hidden places. Section 18. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A rich light shone on the 4 people, and 2 of them actually took off into the air, with a pair of spiritual wings growing out of their backs, chasing in the direction where Lu Qingchen and Yushan were running. It's just that the difference in strength between the 2 parties is too big. This is the first time Lu Qingchen has seen someone actually fly, even though Lu Qingchen and the 2 ran a long distance while the 4 people in ambush were not paying attention, but after the other party reacted, the distance shortened in an instant. Help, Instructor Lu Yen. Lu Qingchen suddenly roared, almost startling the 4 people. I saw the 2 people flying in the air quickly rushing towards Lu Qingchen and Yushan, and swooped down when they were less than 100 meters away. I saw that the 2 people in ambush had just landed, and they would catch up in a second or 2 at most. Lu Qingchen roared when he saw the 2 people chasing him landing less than 20 meters away from him. For a moment, 2 crimson wings spread out behind Lu Qingchen, and Lu Qingchen released his martial spirit. I saw him yelling at Yushan. Hold on to me, don't let go. Yushan heard the sound and immediately grabbed Lu Qingchen's hand, and Lu Qingchen took Yushan into the sky. Because the 2 soul warriors who were ambushing just now swooped down, Lu Qingchen and Yushan were already 20 meters into the air when they waved their spiritual wings. The wings of the 2 powerful soul warriors were seen glowing, and then they released a powerful beam of light that hit Lu Qingchen in the sky. Lu Qingchen was shocked. He quickly swung his body to the side and barely managed to avoid the fatal beam. Lu Qingchen continued to flap his wings and flew into the air, less than a kilometer away from the testing site where Lu Yen was. The 2 soul warriors flapped their wings again and began to take off, catching up with Lu Qingchen in just a second or 2. Lu Qingchen's position was seen to be 100 meters high, but the 2 soul warriors flew up instantly and were about to approach Lu Qingchen. Lu Qingchen saw one of the soul warriors speeding up instantly and taking out a broadsword with green flames in his hand. The blade was gathering strength, and Lu Qingchen gritted his teeth, unable to escape. Lu Qingchen used all his strength to focus his remaining soul power on the 2 crimson wings. The next moment, the crimson wings doubled in size, and a huge crimson beam was shot at the soul warrior. In an instant, huge flames rushed towards the soul warrior holding a giant knife with flashing green flames, and the soul warrior's body was instantly ignited. With a scream, he fell from the sky. After Lu Qingchen launched this attack, the last trace of soul power in his martial soul had been squeezed out. Even the martial spirit could not be maintained. Without the pair of crimson wings, Lu Qingchen and Yushan fell forward together. At this time, Yushan gritted his teeth and released his martial spirit. His muscles bulged in an instant, and his clothes were torn apart by the brutal muscles. At this time, his back had turned into metal, shining with golden luster. He wanted to hold Lu Qingchen in his hands and let him land on the ground, trying to release his martial soul to strengthen himself and land on his back. At this moment, Lu Yen, who hurriedly ran out of the testing site after hearing the cry for help, saw that Lu Qingchen and Yushan were about to fall from the sky. The martial spirit was released instantly, and Lu Yen turned into a stream of light and rushed towards the 2 of them. It's a pity that it's just a little bit worse. Lu Yan's eyes are full of despair. Just when Lu Qingchen and Yushan were about to land, an ice-blue figure appeared out of thin air and caught them. Let me see who is so bold that he dares to assassinate the students of my Tiandao Holy Academy. The ice-blue Qianying shouted coldly. After saying that, he threw Lu Qingchen and Yushan back to Lu Yen, who was a few meters behind. The icy blue wings on his back spread instantly, and the next moment, Han Meng flew into the air. The ice-blue wings grew 100 times larger, and the next moment, the ice-blue cold current turned into a huge beam of light and shot towards the soul warriors. Plop, plop. 2 voices were heard, and the two soul warriors had been frozen into human-shaped ice blocks and fell from a high altitude. Ever since, there were 4 more human-shaped ice cubes on the ground. You take these 2 students back to rest first, and I'll come over after I take care of these people. Lu Yen hummed, held Lu Qingchen in her arms and flew towards the hotel with Yushan in her hands. It smells so good. This was Lu Qingchen's first reaction. The next moment, Lu Yen threw Lu Qingchen onto the bed. Lu Qingchen felt pain and rubbed his shoulders with a look of resentment on his face. Can't you be gentler, Master Lu? Lu Yen rolled her eyes, then patted her chest, as if she was surviving a disaster. Fortunately, I reported your results to the college before. If no one from the college came, you might. Lu Qingchen was also a little scared at this moment. If the system hadn't reminded him, he and Yushan would probably be corpses by now. I have to be nicer to the system, Dad, in the future. It's a life-saving grace. Lu Qingchen thought. Lu Yen frowned slightly, looked at the two of them and said, "Have you offended anyone recently? Why did someone suddenly assassinate you?" "No." Yushan and Lu Qingchen replied subconsciously. Just after saying these words, Lu Qingchen seemed to realize something and looked at Yushan, who was also looking at him. A burst of anger emerged from Lu Qingchen's heart. Lu Qingchen and Yushan are not the kind of people who cause trouble. They have always been the ones who don't offend others. To say who was offended, there were only 2 people, Yan Zian and Yao Qinggu of Kyoto. The former's family background is very ordinary, and it is impossible to invite so many soul warriors to assassinate him. Then there is no doubt that it is the latter. Yao Qinggu was injured by Lu Qingchen and slapped in the face before. After the instructor of Monster Academy took action for him, he was taken away by the people of Tianqing Palace. Besides, he was from Kyoto, being recruited into the Monster Academy in advance from a very wealthy family. Recruiting 4 soul warriors is not something that an ordinary family can do. Lu Yen also realized it at this moment. Her eyes were shocked. Dong dong dong. Not just as Lu Yen was about to speak, the door was suddenly pushed open. Chapter 20 Hanmeng's shock. Lu Yen quickly stepped forward and opened the door. I saw an icy blue figure walking in. She was wearing an ice blue dress, and her big dark blue eyes were clear and deep, as if they could reflect the scenery between heaven and earth. Her long icy blue hair is spread behind her. Even though she was wearing a veil, she still couldn't hide her cold and arrogant temperament like ice and snow. It's so beautiful. Lu Qingchen couldn't help but say it. Lu Yen quickly said to Lu Qingchen, "This is my teacher and the vice president of Tiandao Holy Academy. I've met the vice dean." When the two heard that it was the vice dean, they quickly stood up and saluted. Han Meng couldn't help but smile when she saw the serious look of the 2 people. "It seems that the 2 geniuses Lu Yen told me are you 2 little guys." No way, ha ha ha. The 2 of them were slightly modest and grinned. Lu Yen looked at the 2 people speechlessly and curled her lips. Keep pretending." The ring on Han Meng's hand flashed, and a small porcelain bottle appeared in his hand. "Pour out 2 pills and hand them to Lu Qingchen and Yushan. You 2 should have recovered your soul power after taking these 2 pills. Xiaoyan and I will talk about something first." After saying that, the 2 left the room. Lu Yen glanced at her teacher in surprise. Han Meng smiled and said, "The top martial arts spirits are all like this. They have a part of their soul power when they first awaken." Lu Yen suddenly nodded in realization. "Teacher, there is one more thing I forgot to tell you. Lu Qingchen has 2 martial arts spirits." "What did you say?" Han Meng suddenly became excited. "Lu Qingchen has 2 martial arts souls, I forgot to mention them." Lu Yen stuck out her tongue. "Are you telling the truth?" Han Meng didn't believe it. Lu Yen nodded seriously. "It's just a little strange." Lu Yen held her chin in her hand and said while thinking, "It's a little weird." "Are you talking about the Wuhuan being a little weird?" Han Meng suddenly became interested. "Teacher, do you think top-level martial arts spirits with 7 soul slots are common?" "Of course top martial spirits are rare, and top martial spirits with 7 soul slots are even rarer. In the past few years, the Academy has admitted students with top-level martial arts souls with 7 soul slots. In that session, the Tiandao Holy Academy ranked first in the country. Section 19. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's just that in recent years, Monster Academy has frequently recruited talented students in advance and given generous conditions. Although they cannot accurately recruit talented students every time, they would rather accept more than let them go. So this also leads to a greatly increased chance of them recruiting talented people. Tiandao Holy Academy's ranking in China has dropped to third place. Just last year, it was overtaken by the God of War Academy. After this incident happened, the seniors of Tianqing Pavilion were furious and made it clear that they must return to the first place in the next session. This also caused many tutors and directors of the Wuhan University Assessment School to go to various examination rooms to recruit people in advance this year. Han Meng was a little helpless. It's not easy to get back to the first place. It is said that there will be at least 5 top martial arts students among the next students of Monster Academy. However, we only have 3 students when we are fully qualified. This is because we were lucky enough to recruit 2 from outside in the past 2 years. Han Meng sighed with emotion for a while, then asked. By the way, whose martial spirit you said just now is a bit strange, what's so strange about it? Oh, it's nothing. It's just that one of Lu Qingchen's martial arts has 7 soul slots, and the other martial soul only has 1 soul slot. How is it possible? Did you see it wrong? Han Meng was somewhat suspicious of himself, a student who was usually unreliable. Lu Yan rolled her eyes and continued. I can see clearly, a white lotus, and a big golden bird with flames all over its body. I don't recognize that lotus flower, and I don't know what kind of martial spirit that big bird is. Lu Yan's voice suddenly dropped. I told you to read more books. Forget about your slow cultivation speed. You don't even know a martial soul now. Don't say outside that I am your teacher, it will be embarrassing. Han Meng was speechless to his students, paused, and continued to ask. Is there anything else strange? Yes, that lotus flower has a breath of life. After all, it has 7 soul tanks. Isn't it surprising? But what surprised me was the big golden bird spirit. The aura it exuded was more powerful than that white lotus flower. Han Meng was a little strange at the moment. She had never encountered such a situation before. Besides, it's hard to confirm because I only heard Lu Yan's description without seeing it with my own eyes. I'll take a look at their spirits in person after they recover later. It's hard to judge right now. Han Meng shook his head. By the way, where is the other student? You said both of them have awakened top martial arts spirits. Yes, the stronger student is called Yushan, and his martial soul also has 7 soul slots. Lu Yan nodded. What did you say? Another 7 soul slots. Han Meng was shocked. It had been a long time since her mentality fluctuated so much, unexpectedly. I have only been in Jinling City for 1 day and I have already been excited twice. Lu Yan's eyebrows were dancing and she said, I know Yushan's martial spirit. He is a golden-backed mango beetle. Teacher, you must know it. Of course Han Meng knew that as a spiritual beast, the golden-backed Mongolian beef can be regarded as the king among bovine spiritual beasts. The golden-backed Mongolian beef is so powerful that many ligers and tiger-like spiritual beasts are no match for it. Its whole body is pitch black, with only its back being golden, and its entire body looks like it is covered in armor. It is said that ordinary attacks have no effect on it at all. The most powerful thing is the pair of golden spiral horns on its head. Legend has it that the strongest of the golden-backed monkey clan can pierce the sky. I didn't expect to meet a student who has awakened the golden-backed mang beetle martial soul and has 7 soul slots. Whether it is attack or defense, he is extremely powerful. When his cultivation level rises, who else in the same realm will be his opponent? Xiaoyan, you did a good job this time. You finally gained face for master. Han Meng nodded with satisfaction, suddenly feeling that this student was not without merit. Of course, teacher, you don't know. When those instructors from Wuhan University knew that they were the students I recruited in advance, their faces turned green. Lu Yan said with a smile. By the way, there is a student from Kyoto who has also awakened a top martial soul. It should be the Frost Sky Dragon Eagle, which also has 7 soul slots. And he had conflicts with Lu Qingchen and Yushan before. I suspect that the 4 soul warriors who assassinated Lu Qingchen this time were arranged by him. Lu Yen looked indignant. The Academy will find out about this matter. Don't make any noise until the evidence is found. Frost Sky Dragon Eagle Wuhuan, that student from Kyoto should be a descendant of a certain vice president of Monster Academy. Lu Yen nodded, thinking that as expected of a teacher, she knew so much. Chapter 21 System Rewards, Green Hotel, Room 404. After Lu Yen and Han Meng left, Lu Qingchen and Yushan started chatting. Brother Chen, the tutor and dean of Tiandao Holy Academy, are so beautiful. Yushan raised the topic. So. Lu Qingchen had no intention of taking this hot potato. Aren't you tempted, Brother Chen? Seeing that Lu Qingchen didn't respond, Yushan continued to seduce. Lu Qingchen rolled his eyes and sighed in his heart, everyone who sees it will be moved, but I don't dare to move, I don't want to turn into ice, so he said to Yushan. Brother, you are not young anymore. Last time, my uncle told my father that he would help you find a wife. Brother Chen, I was wrong, I only have martial arts in my heart. Yushan became anxious as soon as he heard this, seeing that Yushan was quite sensible. Lu Qingchen nodded with satisfaction. The two chatted for a long time and began to sit cross-legged on the bed to restore their soul power. With a thought in mind, I opened the information panel. Host, Lu Qingchen, Martial Soul, Sun Golden Crow, Golden Emperor Dragon, Creation Jade Lotus, Realm, Awakening Realm 2nd level. Spiritual Power, Bright Moon 1st level, 30, Skills, Burning Heaven Sacred Scripture. Emperor Dragon Immortal Body, Creation Jade Pure Heart Sutra, Magic Power, Unopened, Fire, Dragon, Items, Donghuang Bell, Small Creation Pill *2, Extreme Realm Reward, to be collected, collect. Lu Qingchen said silently in his heart, Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Burning Heaven God Seed, Soul Seed, a Star Refining Cauldron, Soul Stone *100. With a thought, Lu Qingchen began to explore the item information. Burning Heaven God Seed, one of the strongest soul seeds, one of the strongest God seeds of the Fire Tao, a treasure of heaven and earth. After refining, the spiritual power has a burning effect and can obtain a magical power, Star Refining Cauldron, a heavenly treasure that can be used for alchemy and body tempering. Alchemy under the stars at night can increase the success rate of alchemy by 10%. Soul Stone, a stone used to absorb soul power, used in training or combat. Hey, is the Burning Heaven God Seed a natural treasure? It looks very precious. How should it be used? Lu Qingchen pondered over it, but couldn't figure it out. Forget it, I'll check it out when I get to the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy. The instructors in the academy should know. Then Lu Qingchen checked the martial soul again. Sun Golden Crow, the highest martial soul of the fire system, the most young and the most rigid, the supreme of the fire path. Possessing the power of the sun, those who possess this martial soul are immune to all fire attacks and magical powers, and are born with the Golden Crow Emperor Flame, which can break all things and burn everything. Golden Emperor Dragon, the highest martial soul of beasts, the ultimate power, the most young and the most rigid. Those who possess this martial soul will have extremely terrifying power and extremely strong physique, and have extremely strong recovery ability, which has a certain degree of suppression on any beast. Fortune Jade Lotus, a top-level life-based martial soul, usually born with the supreme martial soul, which can increase the host's cultivation speed tenfold, possess the power of life fortune, possess group healing and extremely strong single-target healing. It's really awesome. Since fate has given me such a good talent, how can I be willing not to reach the peak of martial arts in this life? 10 times the cultivation speed, then I can't be 10 times faster than others. Lu Qingchen was extremely excited. Ding, a small reminder, the cultivation speed of the supreme martial soul is extremely slow in the early stage, and martial arts should be practiced step by step, not overnight. The system's words slowly calmed Lu Qingchen down. That's right, Lu Qingchen, who has the supreme martial soul, only needs to practice step by step. Martial arts have always been practiced step by step. The foundation in the early stage is extremely important and cannot be achieved overnight. As a 5-poison youth in his previous life, Qingchen knew that martial arts cannot rely too much on external objects, but can only strengthen himself. It seems that I can't rely too much on the system in the future. Just like the ambush today, if there was no system, I might have been a corpse. But what if I can find them in advance, or if I am as strong as the vice president, will anyone dare to ambush me? Thinking of this, Qingchen's ambition to reach the top of martial arts became more determined. As they swallowed the pills given by Han Meng, the soul power of the two slowly recovered. After breaking through to the awakening realm, Qingchen can finally practice the exercises. By the way, there are 2 more exercises. Thinking of this, Qingchen opened a panel together to check Emperor Dragon Immortal Body, the supreme body training method of the Dragon Clan, divided into 9 levels in total. Every time a level is broken through, a dragon pattern will form on the body. When practicing to the 5th level, the body will transform into the Emperor Dragon Holy Body. If you practice to perfection, you can have a body like the Golden Emperor Dragon, one of the 3 supreme pure-blooded true dragons of the Dragon Clan. Those who practice to the 9th level are immortal. After practicing, you can cultivate the true Dragon Chi, Jade Purity Heart Sutra of Creation. The companion technique of Jade Divine Lotus of Creation can improve the soul. After practicing, the martial soul will automatically absorb the spiritual power of heaven and earth, which can make the heart as clear as ice and not be affected by external objects. Burning heaven's sacred scripture, the peak of the way of fire. Those who practice it to perfection can burn mountains and boil seas, and burn all things in the world. After practicing, the spiritual power can be converted into burning heaven's spiritual power. Once others are infected, even their soul power can be burned. After seeing the effects of these techniques, Qingchen nodded with satisfaction. In the early stage of martial arts, it is necessary to have a top-level practice technique. It is impossible to change the technique during practice. Moreover, his own technique includes body training and mental strength improvement, without any shortcomings. It is worthy of being a system. The 3rd martial soul rewarded made up for his own shortcomings. Qingchen sighed slightly. At this time, Qingchen's soul power had long been restored. Seeing that Yushan was still sitting cross-legged on the bed beside him, Qingchen started to practice the Jade Purity Heart Sutra of Creation. After a moment, his heart was as clear as ice, and the Jade Lotus of Creation martial soul was also madly absorbing the soul power of heaven and earth. The examiner said that the martial soul must be filled with soul power before it can be promoted to the next realm, so I have to fill 3 martial souls. Qingchen murmured. Dong dong dong. At this time, the door was knocked. Seeing that Yushan was still recovering, Qingchen got up and opened the door. It was Lu Yan and Han Meng outside the door. Hello, Teacher Lu, and meet the Vice President. Qingchen saluted hurriedly. When did you become so polite? Humph, is it? Qingchen rolled his eyes in his heart. The Vice President of the Heavenly Tao Holy Academy, how can he not hold on to his thighs? Although this thigh is not thick but very slender, long and white, seeing that the 2 were still standing outside the door, Qingchen hurriedly let them in. Section 20. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With a pop, the door to the room was closed again. I heard from Xiaoyan that you have awakened 2 martial arts spirits. Is it true? Han Meng blinked her big, smart eyes. Well, that's right. Qingchen nodded. Can you let me see your martial spirit? Han Meng smiled, his big dark blue eyes full of expectation. Although it was inappropriate to look at other people's martial arts directly, Han Meng had just saved 2 people's lives. Moreover, Qingchen also decided to hug someone with thick legs, so he should agree both emotionally and rationally. With a thought, Qingchen released the Jade God Lotus Spirit of Creation, Chapter 22, picking up a beautiful master. With a thought, Qingchen released the Jade God Lotus Spirit of Creation. I saw that the lotus flower was all white, as if it were cast from white jade. There are 12 green lotus leaves as a backdrop, and the flower has 24 petals. At the heart of the lotus, 5 jade-like lotus seeds are formed. There are 7 bright soul grooves shining on the entire lotus flower. What a beautiful lotus! I seem to have seen this lotus in some book, but I can't remember it. Han Meng stared at the lotus and murmured. Obviously you don't even know me, and you still say that I never read. Lu Yen whispered to the side. What did you say? No. I didn't say anything. Lu Yen had a strong desire to survive and said quickly, Lu Qingchen. It's really 7 soul tanks, Lu Qingchen, are you willing to worship me as your teacher? Han Meng said gently to Lu Qingchen. Lu Qingchen didn't expect Han Meng to want to accept him as his disciple. This was too direct, and he was stunned for a moment. What are the benefits of becoming your disciple? Lu Qingchen suddenly said this, and he himself was startled. Then what benefits do you want? Han Meng blinked her bright eyes at Lu Qingchen. I don't know either. How about giving me some magical powers and combat skills and elixirs? Lu Qingchen said loudly. Han Meng nodded. That's no problem, but I'll give you the magical combat skills after you enter the academy. After all, you haven't entered the academy yet. After saying that, he gave Lu Qingchen a small porcelain bottle. Lu Qingchen took the small porcelain bottle and looked left and right, but he couldn't tell what kind of elixir it was. This is a small soul pill. After taking it, it can increase your soul power. Then he took out an exquisite hexagonal ice charm and handed it to Lu Qingchen. In the future, if you encounter a crisis that cannot be solved outside, just crush this ice talisman and I will sense it. Lu Qingchen's eyes lit up and he thought to himself, this is a good thing, so he quickly reached out and caught the ice talisman handed over by Han Meng. After playing with it in his hand, Lu Qingchen grinned, showing his big white teeth. Thank you for the beautiful, kind and gentle master. Lu Qingchen praised the cheap master without hesitation. Humph, I'm not bad to you either, I've never seen you praise me so much. Lu Yen said angrily from the side. No matter where it is, senior sister Lu Yen gave birth to a child that is as beautiful as the moon, beautiful and fragrant, and naturally beautiful and delicious. Stop, stop, stop. How can you be so perfunctory, hum? Lu Yen said softly, but she couldn't hide the smile on her face. Han Meng turned around and glanced at Lu Yen with a half-smile. Lu Yen's big black eyes were spinning in their sockets. Oh, look at what my junior brother said, it's obvious that the master is the prettiest. Han Meng nodded with satisfaction. Yushan was stunned and thought to himself that Brother Chen is indeed such a talented person. I met a beautiful master in less than an hour. Oh, by the way, instructor Lu Yen also became Brother Chen's senior sister. Lu Qingchen seemed to have seen through Yushan's thoughts, so he smiled at Han Meng and said. Beautiful master, what do you think of Yushan? He is also very talented. Do you want to consider? I thought so too, but the admission notice came out and neither of you entered the academy, so I accepted 2 disciples in advance. The other 2 vice presidents and even the dean of the college will definitely be unhappy. Han Meng spread his hands with a look of helplessness on his face. However, you can wait until you enter the academy to see if Yushan has a teacher you like. I remember that there was also a vice dean whose Wuhuan was also a powerful bull-type Wuhuan. He would definitely be very happy if he knew that he had enrolled an academy student who had awakened the golden-backed bull-type Wuhuan. If I recruit him in advance now, he will definitely want to fight with me. That stupid cow has a bad temper and a tough temper, and its skin is very thick. Every time he hits me, my hands hurt. I saw Yushan's face collapsed, and he shouted in his heart, my life is so miserable, I also want a beautiful master. It was as if he could see through Yushan's heart. Han Mengjiao smiled and said. There are still a lot of female tutors in the college, and all of them are beauties. You still have a chance. But Lu Qingchen. Han Meng waved his pink fist and said with a faint smile. If you dare to choose another woman when you are apprentice, don't be blamed for cleaning up the teacher. How could it be possible? How could it be possible? I will definitely choose the most beautiful master vice president. Lu Qingchen shouted hurriedly, my master seems to have violent tendencies, how should I live in the future? Lu Qingchen sighed in his heart. Okay, then during the apprenticeship ceremony, no matter who recruits you, you said that you would think about it again before choosing him as a teacher, you know. Then Han Meng seemed to have thought of something interesting, and Han Meng smiled to himself. Stand up. I understand, I understand. Lu Qingchen looked at his master and giggled, sweating on his forehead, thinking that his master would not be seriously ill. By the way, don't you have another martial soul? Release it and show it to my master. Han Meng laughed for a long time before realizing what he should do. Okay. Lu Qingchen replied. I saw a red light shining on Lu Qingchen's body. The next moment, a pair of sky-covering wings spread out, and endless red gold divine fire lingered on them. The whole body looked like it was made of red gold, extremely brilliant. The whole body is red gold, extremely sacred, and the feathers on the body are like a peerless sword, exuding endless edge. The 3 claws under the body are covered with golden scales, and the curved grappling hook is like a sharp blade. A groove that is twice the size of an ordinary soul groove flashes on its body. The moment of power made Han Meng unable to help but release his martial spirit, but after all, he was the vice dean of 3 prestigious schools, so Xiao was so powerful that he calmed down instantly. Then she raised her head and couldn't help but observe it carefully. When she saw the 3 sharp claws covered with golden scales under the body of this magical bird, Lu Yen clearly saw that her teacher's body couldn't help but tremble. This is the 3-legged golden crow of the supreme fire attribute martial spirit. Han Meng's voice trembled as he slowly said the name of Lu Qingchen's martial spirit. Master, what is the supreme martial spirit? Lu Yen saw her master so excited for the first time and couldn't help but ask. Han Meng's voice was still trembling, and he said slowly. I also accidentally read in an ancient book in our college that the supreme martial spirit, as the name suggests, reaches the peak of the attributes of a martial spirit. In the realm where the supreme martial spirit is located, no attribute martial spirit with the same attributes can surpass it. Han Meng paused and continued. For example, Lu Qingchen's martial spirit, among the fire attribute martial spirits, the 3-legged golden crow is the absolute king. No martial spirit can compete with it, unless it is also a supreme martial spirit with other attributes. It's not easy to awaken the supreme martial spirit. So far, I don't know that there has been one in the history of our college. Lu Yen paused and continued. I remember seeing it in an ancient book in the library of our college. After the student who had awakened the supreme martial spirit appeared, it even alarmed the then dean of the academy and many seniors in Tianqing Pavilion, who all wanted to accept him as a disciple. In the end, after the academy reached great success, there was no opponent on the entire Blue Star who could compete with him. That was also the most glorious time for our Tiandao Holy Academy. Chapter 23 The Attitude of School Leaders. Speaking of this, Han Meng said with some regret. It's a pity that the student probably left Blue Star and went to other worlds later, but there should be records in our college's library. Speaking of this, the expression on Han Meng's face became a little solemn, and he said to Lu Qingchen hesitantly. Although I have just accepted you as my disciple, the supreme martial spirit is rare to see in thousands of years. The dean of the academy and some seniors must be more experienced than me in teaching students with supreme martial art spirits. If you are willing, then I take back what I just said. You can become a disciple of other students. I believe they will be very willing to teach you. Wait. Lu Qingchen suddenly raised his hand to interrupt Han Meng's words. I think as a warrior, having a good training environment and good teachers is of course the best, but as a person, I think certain things are the most important. Lu Qingchen looked serious and said slowly. Although I don't know why you said that, Master, I just decided to become my master, which is 1, and you have been a life-saving grace to me and Yushan, which is 2, when you accepted me as a disciple, you didn't know that I had a supreme martial spirit. This is the 3rd reason. So no matter what, I have already worshipped you as my teacher, and I don't want to switch to someone else just because I awaken some supreme martial spirit. Lu Qingchen smiled. I hope Master will not say these words again in the future. I am already your disciple, so you can't push me to others. Lu Qingchen spoke with righteousness. Nonsense, there is a beautiful master with strong cultivation, why should he accept someone else as his master? What if he is a bad old man? Lu Qingchen couldn't help but tremble when he thought that his teacher was a bad old man. It's better to have a beautiful teacher.